Hi everybody, welcome to another video. And this video was inspired by Legion Tactical's latest stream. And he was talking about carrying first aid kits with you during an outing or when you're doing knife demonstration videos and you happen to cut yourself. Okay, so here we go. Normally this is what I wear on a day hike or an outing in the wilderness, just playing around or whatever. Okay, there's a few things that you should carry on the outside for quick access in case you get injured. And I'm not talking about little boo boo cuts where you can take the time to take off your gear, reach into a med kit or a first aid kit like this, and just, leave your hand that's bleeding out like this and manage through working with one hand to go grab a bandage or something and then just self-treat yourself. I'm talking about a substantial cut where you're bleeding pretty heavily and blood is just about getting everywhere. Okay, in that case, you don't want to be reaching into your nice expensive, I know many of you guys like to invest money into a lot nice name brand pouches and such, and you're gonna be like struggling to get into it, to get stuff out of it, and by the time you're done you got your whole expensive kit bloody. All right, so there's a few things that you should keep on the outside of your garment. Okay, well, number one thing is a tourniquet. This is a tourniquet here, and a tourniquet has to be ready to go. And the way you should have it prepared is that even with one hand, it should be already be ready to wrap around your arm or whatever and just tighten up and go. Okay, so you should have it prepped in a way that as soon as you pull it out of the pouch or off your clip or whatever, it opens up and then you can just put it in and strap it and tighten it and everything, whatever you have to do to get that bleeding to stop. Okay, now if you're not injured that badly where you need a tourniquet and you just have a very serious cut and it's bleeding really bad, you want to have something like this, a compression bandage on the outside of your garment or whatever you're wearing to have a quick access. I have it tied up like this with like a roll of toilet paper. So you could prep it so you could just reach over and unravel it and then reach over. And another thing you should have is trauma shears. I know we like to carry knives, and I know many of you, that's what this channel is about, carrying knives. But a lot of the times, a knife requires a lot of dexterity to use without cutting yourself even further. So you want to have shears, okay? And I'm not talking about scissors that are on the Victorinox or whatever, because that also takes time to take out of your pocket or a belt clip, and you have to use two hands to maneuver the scissor out, and then you cut your bandage and fit it, whatever. You should always have shears that you can quickly grab and cut your bandage to size and wrap your wound. All right, so having one of these is, to me, very essential. Okay, so compression bandage, shears, and also you should have a large bandage quickly accessible to you in your pocket, in your shirt pocket, or even somewhere on the outside of whatever pouch or pocket you have, that you can just easily, quickly grab, one-handed, tear open, and put on your wound. Okay, put on your finger, wrap it up. Okay, and then now you can work with the compression bandage and the scissors and wrap your injury up, and you're good to go. Okay, so now you have contain the bleeding. You don't have blood all over your clothing. You don't have blood all over your expensive little medical pouch or whatever. Okay, so that's my suggestion: is always have a nice, good-sized bandage like this to be able to put directly on the wound. Okay, put it on there, and then you can reach over and work this little bandage out, unravel it while it's hanging loose, unclip your shears, cut it, and wrap it. Okay, so that will not only be faster to treat your serious little cut, but also you don't create a lot of mess with the blood everywhere on your clothes, all your gear, all of your, because if you keep your medical kit, if you keep your first aid kit in a backpack, guess what you have to do now? You have to take the backpack off, or even if the backpack is already off, you have to walk over to where your backpack is, and then you have to unzip the backpack and reach in to get the medical pack. And you may need to use both hands, and the hand that you're injured with is bleeding now all inside your bag and getting everywhere. So always keep your first aid kit on the outside for quick accessibility, and also you don't place yourself in a situation you're contaminating all your gear with your blood. Okay, so that's my suggestion. There's many different ways you can carry items like this. To me, this is one of the most important things next to the tourniquet. The tourniquet is for life and death situations where you cut an artery and you just can't stop the bleeding unless you apply direct pressure to the artery itself. And that's what the tourniquet is for. But 9 times out of 10, you're just trying to stop a real serious cut, which doesn't require a tourniquet. And compression bandages are awesome because they stick to itself, and they're easy to work with. You don't have to get anything this big or this wide. There are compression bandages that are narrower and much easier to use. I think I got this one long time ago, and I should really actually think about getting a new one because this is stuck to itself and I can't even find where it starts. But here it is. Okay. Just like that, it unravels. Okay, and then with the shears, you cut a piece like this, and you put a bandage on. I'm just doing this as a demonstration purposes, so I'm not taking the bandage out, but let's say you wrapped your wound, and now you got your compression bandage, and you're gonna wrap it up tight, and boom, it sticks to itself. Of course, you're gonna make the cut. You're gonna get a longer bandage and wrap it a couple of times to apply more pressure. But there you go. You're all set to go. Now, the reason I would suggest against using stuff like liquid stitch on a very serious cut is if you intend to go to the hospital to get treatment, you don't want to put liquid stitch on your wound, because what happens? You get to the hospital, the doctors or the nurses have to what? Clean that liquid stitch off to be able to do what they got to do to put stitches in your cut. Also, a lot of people would say, well, you know, I carry electrical tape, Gorilla Tape. They work great for wounds. Yeah, if you don't want to go to the hospital and get treatment, I guess, and that's all you have, that's fine. But the problem with that is what goes on must come off at the hospital. So if you got really sticky, really strong Gorilla Tape on your wound, and they go to peel that off, guess what you're doing? You're taking a risk of not just making that wound worse by when they take it off, it may just tear more skin and make the cut even longer or wider than it really should be. So, uh, you want to use something that is easy to put on, take off, but at the same time apply good pressure on your wound. Okay, so always carry a purposeful medical stuff like bandages and compression bandages and tourniquets and things like that. And I know that in a pinch, if you have absolutely nothing, if you don't have a bug out kit or day hike kit with a first aid kit, whatever, and you're out and about and you cut yourself really bad, yes, you go to your truck and look into your toolbox and you see electrical tape there. Of course, that's all you got. That's what you're going to have to use. But you should never carry a Gorilla Tape or electrical tape just for the purpose of, yeah, if I cut myself, that's what I'm going to use. No, I don't think that's a good idea because, like I said, you get to the hospital, the stuff that you put on your wound, may it be liquid stitch, whatever, if it's on there, the hospital's got to find a way to get it off and clean it off so they can properly stitch you up and give you antibiotics and all that. All right. So main thing number one is stop the bleed. Then go to the hospital, get treated. Or if you don't intend to go to the hospital and treat yourself, at least stop the bleed right away. Get to a place where you can cleanly take off whatever you did initially, clean everything off, apply ointments or antibiotics, and then redress your cut. So that's what you want to do. All right. So I hope that made a lot of sense. So this video was inspired by Legion Tactical. I'm still watching his stream. As I was watching it, I was inspired to do this video. So thanks for watching, folks.